Why Hollywood rejects other talents? Why Hollywood keeps on making the same movies over and over again for years? Now let's say that because Hollywood superhero movies were successful when movies like Blade was being made in the late 1990s, and movies like Daredevil from the late 1990s was made. They automatically think that movies like superhero movies is the only bankable movies. It now Hollywood lacks natural creativity. They're not like creating movies back in the 80s and 90s or like different kinds of gear. Movies like in the 80s they made superhero movies like Batman and the Michael Keaton Batman, and they made movies like Predator, Ghostbusters. Hollywood's not doing that anymore. They don't make variety movies anymore. They keep on making superhero movies and putting woke in them. That's why a lot of this Disney superhero movies they losing money. Like there was a time, I think 2020 or 2021, Disney lost over $1 billion revenue of profit of superhero movies because they keep on making woke superhero movies that they say for the modern audience, when in reality the modern audience don't exist. And type people who watch superhero movies, who keeps on watching these, don't know the meaning of variety of movies. Like say for example Steven Spielberg, he is not making superhero movies. He doesn't join the crowd. Everyone in Hollywood is crossing the same bridge of making superhero movies. Steven Spielberg is not like that. He creates his own bridge. He doesn't get peer pressured. He doesn't jump into the bandwagon of making superhero movies. Now Hollywood is mainly still making superhero movies for over 20 years now, and I could honestly predict the next big thing that Hollywood studios will make are fantasy books. Make these fantasy books into superhero movies, like fantasy novels like Zinx by Pierce Anthony, fantasy novels like written by fantasy authors. That's gonna be the next big thing. And when the Hollywood starts making these fantasy novels into movies, they're gonna forget about making superhero movies. Kind of like back in the day, Hollywood and movie channels and TV channels kept on making reality shows. Now no one's making reality shows anymore because superhero took over them. In the same way, uh, fantasy movies will take over superhero movies. Kind of like the fantasy movies made back in the 80s with Tom Cruise called Legend. That's gonna be the next big thing. Or like Hollywood make video game will adapt video games into movies. And I don't really like the superhero movie thing because it's been done to death, and people get tired of seeing the same thing over and over again. And a lot of these Hollywood studios automatically think, hey, we're gonna make superhero movies because that's what's making money. They don't try other different gears. They don't make comedy. They stop making comedy. And comedies back in the day were one of the best comedy. Now some of these comedies that Hollywood make are offensive and they're not even funny.